One of the most enduringly popular film genres is horror. They consistently top the box office, and many of their characters, from Norman Bates in Psycho to Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street to Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs, have become cultural icons. However, while many people eagerly purchase tickets to the next horror film release, we attempt to avoid anything that frightens us in our daily lives. So why would we pay to see a film that makes us fearful and terrified? Of course, not everyone likes horror films, so we'll also talk about the personal factors that influence who enjoys them and who doesn't. Finally, we'll look at the therapeutic possibilities of horror consumption. Reasons why people enjoy horror films. Scholars have presented no single explanation for why individuals enjoy viewing horror movies. This is because individuals seek out horror films for a variety of reasons and to satisfy numerous gratifications. Furthermore, some people may be drawn to horror for one reason but not another. The following are some of the most well-established explanations presented by psychologists for why individuals enjoy viewing horror movies: vicarious experiences and threat mastery. We don't come across terrible circumstances all that often in our daily lives, but when we do, it catches our attention. According to horror historian Matthias Clayson, this inclination can be traced back to the constant danger our ancient predecessors faced in their circumstances. To avoid becoming prey to a larger or more lethal predator, primitive people had to stay constantly vigilant. People have developed a highly responsive, if usually unconscious, threat detection mechanism as a result of these long-ago experiences. Because horror films are so adept at imitating hazardous scenarios, our emotional reactions to them are similar to those we'd have if we met a real-life threat. Of course, because we don't face real-life hazards as frequently as ancient humans, watching horror films can be a fresh experience that allows us to exercise our innate threat detection system. This not only increases the audience's interest in horror films, but it also allows them to experience things like the post-apocalypse, alien invasions, and the threat of an assailant in a safe atmosphere. As a result, horror films are a risk-free approach to vicariously experience threats and practice reactions to them. Furthermore, after surviving a horror film, people may feel a sense of accomplishment and mastery over the peril they faced, leading them to feel more secure in their capacity to handle subsequent anxiety-provoking situations. Theory of excitation transfer. Dolph Zillman's excitation transfer theory was one of the first psychological ideas to explain people's appreciation of horror films. According to the hypothesis, horror media produces heightened levels of physiological arousal due to the terror it instills. When the media concludes, that arousal then amplifies viewers' feelings of relief and satisfaction, leading to a euphoric high. This notion has been supported by research, at least for male viewers. For example, one study discovered that the greater the male participants' discomfort and arousal while viewing a horror film, the greater their delight after finishing the film, investigating humanity's dark side. Another study 6 discovered that our liking of horror films can be explained by our curiosity about the evil side of humanity. Society ensures that most of us never come into contact with humanity's most corrupt or frightening monsters, and we repress our darker parts in order to fit in. Horror films allow us to investigate the nature of evil, both in others and in ourselves, and struggle with the worst aspects of humanity in a safe setting. Who enjoys horror films? Horror films are not for everyone. In fact, many people try to avoid the genre as much as possible. Individual variations that make someone more inclined to love horror films have been studied in psychology. People who are looking for sensations. Numerous research have shown that people who are high in the attribute of sensation-seeking prefer horror. Sensation-seeking is the desire for new, hazardous, or extreme experiences. People with a high level of sensation-seeking are more likely to have happy emotions when they encounter strongly stimulating experiences, even if those experiences are undesirable. As a result, those who are high in sensation-seeking are wired to enjoy the exciting experience of horror films in ways that people who are poor in this feature are not.